To Hardaway, 9 on the shot clock. Hardaway drives right in and lays it in.
You know, I don't like to toot my own horn or anything like that, but yes, I do feel like I have the greatest crossover of all time.
Your killer crossover is one of the most famous moves in NBA history. Tell me how that phrase killer crossover came to be.
I'm going to tell you this. I was just out there playing basketball. I just knew that I had a move. I just knew that I get past somebody with this move. I never thought that, it would get this big of notoriety until Magic Johnson was scouting us. And he was like, yeah, Chris Mullin, you got to watch out for Chris. He shoots it deep. He could, he's a pure shooter. He's a pure scorer and this and that. Mitch Richmond is a dog. He's a rock, blah, 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 blah. But you got to watch out for Tim Hardaway's killer crossover. And that's when people started taking notes. I never knew that I had that move. I was just out there playing. I was just out there doing a move to get free, to make a play for my teammates or a play for myself. I never knew that, that it was that special.
Was the crossover a move that you were taught growing up, or did you kind of just develop it by yourself over time?
That's special. When we grew up, we didn't have trainers. We didn't have, we just had coaches. We had camps. But it was really coaches that take you through the fundamentals of basketball. All the other stuff, the outside stuff, knowing how to dribble, knowing how to cross your guy over, knowing how to freak them and get real down into it and make a play. That came from within. That came from playing the game, working on your game by yourself. Everybody like, well, I need somebody in the gym to rebound the ball. No, you don't need nobody in the gym to rebound the ball. Shoot, I used to go to an outside court, ride a bike with no seat on it, stick my ball in between the frame, put the nets on the bike, ride to the park about 3 miles, climb up a pole, put nets on both goals, okay, and then go down there and just do moves and just work on my game myself. Pretend like I'm practicing against somebody that I wanted to go against really bad in high school, at the park. But just imagine them guarding me, and I'm taking them to the bucket and doing moves, behind the back moves, crossover, just like they're in front of me, real moves, and going real hard up and down the court and shooting floaters and shooting bank shots. And back then we was on half moons. We didn't have square glass. We was on half moons. So that's the way I used to work on my game. And if I didn't have nets, I used to know how to hit the rim so when it goes in, it can hit the back of the rim and come back to me. That's what I used to do. So it was all about knowing what you need to do and what you need to practice on and what was in favor of you to go out there and be successful out there on the court. I mean, pickup basketball, grammar school basketball, high school basketball, college basketball, NBA, overseas, whatever you need to do, and how you need to do it. That's what back in the day, that's what we had to do. That's all we had. That's all we had was go out there and practice hard and play hard and excel on our own. That's all we had.
That resilience that you're talking about, where do you think you learned that and how do you think you developed it?
Chicago. Growing up in Chicago. People, doubting you all the time. People always, I didn't want to say putting you down, but I call it, to me, it was corrective criticism to just let me know what I need to work on and what I need to get better and how I need to get better at it. That's where the resilience come from. They can beat you down, they can beat you down, they can beat you down, but can you get back up? Put your shoulders back, hold your head up. Can you look them in the eye and say, look, I'm gonna get better from this. You cannot hold me down. And I always tell kids, It's not going to happen overnight. It takes practice. It takes patience. That's what I have. I have a lot of patience. I practiced a lot, had a lot of patience, and I went out there and did what I need to do. And it paid off. That's where the resilience come in. We was playing against, I say, in high school during the summer, we was playing against top 10 guys across the world in Chicago, just each and every day during the summer, just going out there playing the game of basketball. I mean, we had guys that didn't make it to the NBA, but if they had the right head on their shoulder and if they was all right up here, they could have made the NBA. But for every reason, they didn't make it. But it was some dominating guards, a big man, basketball players in the city of Chicago, where you had to go and play, and you had to play every night. Like I said, I'm going against Gary Payton one night. I'm going against Michael Jordan another night. I'm going against John Stockton another night, Kevin Johnson another night. Those type of guys. We had those type of guys every day in the summertime in Chicago. So I'm going against those guys every day, just like that, at a young age. So that's where the resilience come in at. That's where the confidence come in at. That's where the patience come in at. That's where the attitude come in at. That's where wanting to be the best come in at, playing against the best and going out there and proving you are one of the best or not the best. That's where that comes from.
So what should people feel and how should they act when they put on your Tim Hardaway Killer Crossover merchandise?
When they put on this t-shirt right here, this right here, I want them to know that they are out there with confidence, that they bringing a swag. They bringing, like, I'm coming to fuck you up today. I'm coming to trash talk you. I'm coming to set you down. I'm coming to shut you up. I'm coming with it today. That's what I did. That's how I feel. When I'm out there playing, that's how I feel. A lot of confidence. When I got the ball in my hand, I'm in control. Can't nobody take this controlness out of me. I'm in control of the team. I'm in control of your team, and I'm in control of the game. That's what I want them to feel. And that's the way they should feel when they put this on. That's the way they should feel. Because that's the way I feel. Confident.
Is a good crossover a move you think that every good basketball player needs to have in their bag?
When I go to the NBA combines, they still teach my crossover to these guys. When I watch people work out, NBA guys work out, they implement my crossover in their workout. So yeah, I know it works. But it takes time. You just can't go out there and do it one day and practice it one day. No, it takes time. It's a rhythm. And I had rhythm. I practiced it, and it just came to me, and it was just a rhythm that I had with the basketball with that particular move.
So what makes a good crossover? What makes it killer?
Under control. Can you stay under control during the crossover? Not get off balance, not turn the ball over, not going too fast. It was always a saying, you can speed the game up, but you can't speed me up. I'm in control of my speed. So when I get to where I need to get to, I can slow down and do what I need to do at a certain speed and keep my same speed going. So it's always being under control. You get low if you want to. You stay high, but you got to be under control, and you got to understand how to control the basketball. That's what makes a good crossover. If you out of control and you mishandle the ball, you messed up the move that you're trying to do. So yeah, I say it's always under control. You got to stay under control. You could be fast, but you got to be under control.
So obviously guys like Allen Iverson over the years have had great crossovers. Who in the NBA today, in your opinion, has the best crossovers?
I can't give AI that type of credit because his was a carry. If we played in the parks, he wouldn't have got away with that. We would have stopped the game and said, look, either you got to get a new move or you can't do this move here. Simple as that. So the old heads would not have allowed that. The NBA allowed that because it was a nice move. That was his move, and they allowed a lot of things for people to do, like traveling. Some guys travel. LeBron travels. James Harden travels. Some guys travel, but that was his move. So he got away with it. But now you can't do it. Kevin Durant gets away with it a little bit. He carries a little bit, but he gets away with it sometimes. And before the referees say, yeah, that's a carry. But you got Kemba Walker. My son does it at times. You have Russell Westbrook, does it. Definitely Chris Paul does it. So it's a lot of guys that do it and do it the right way and gets them free and makes a shot.
We're going to wrap this up with a 2-part question. What's the worst time that you ever got crossed over? And then what's the worst time you ever crossed over a defender?
You know what? I never, I'm not going to say never. I did back in probably in the 80s. When I was coming out of high school or in college, I got crossed over a couple of times by guys that was older than me that crossed me over. And I heard some oohs and ahs. But yeah, I got crossed over, then. But in the NBA, John Stockton, of course. Gary Payton and Kevin Johnson. But I think one guy that nobody never saw was when I came back from my ACL and that summer, and I crossed this guy over, and he tore his shoe. When you tell you like what's his name? The big fella from Duke, Zion. Yeah, you know how he came out of his shoe? It came out like that. That's how he came out of his shoe, and he slipped. After he came out of his shoe, he slipped with his sock on the floor and everything. He slid and he did a split. And nobody, it wasn't on film because that was in the 90s. But yeah, that's the best time that I ever crossed somebody over, and I was like, ooh, yeah, wow, yeah. So, and I knew I was back then too. I knew that I was ready to come back and play.